This is a response to your video about the cross-dressing mob mentality. Um, First of all, one thing about this video I noticed, it seems to draw heavily from George Carlin's famous quote, about an outsider being forced to stay outside because the system is so fucked up. So that's kind of what brought my attention to this whole issue and why I decided to do this. I also recently made a video in which I did the quote in tribute to this legendary comedian, philosopher, and fine judge of cheap booze. So anyway, as for your question you asked at the end of this video, would you consider this school of thought as a handicap or an advantage? In my opinion, this seems like a great handicap. I mean, it's like trying to swim up the river in backwards current, as opposed to going with the current. And that is a huge disadvantage. But although it may seem like a handicap, I believe in my heart that it's actually an advantage. And because, I mean, I swim against the current. I always have, and that's not going to change, whether I like it or not. And it's fairly obvious you do as well. So that's pretty much, yep. Well, it sucks, but that's the cards we're dealt, and you got to make the best of it. So anyway, yeah, that's a huge disadvantage, seemingly, but at the same time, it's a great advantage in the long run. In the long run, in the grand scheme of things, it's a great advantage because at least you know, I know, and I'm pretty sure you know, that you have the intelligence to be able to figure out what the right thing to do is and what the wrong thing to do is. And while everybody else just fucking, it's kind of like if you're say, okay, here's one. You said your mother, you took her to a burger joint and she said the burger tasted like gasoline, and yet she continued to eat the motherfucker because she just wanted to go with the flow and not cause any, well, so supposedly trouble. But if I went to a burger joint and paid some good money for a motherfucking burger, and the goddamn thing tasted like some fucking unleaded shit, I'd take the damn thing back. Say, give me my goddamn money back, make me a new motherfucker, a motherfucking new burger. Don't spit in the damn thing, because I know I used to work in restaurants. I know if you fuck with my burger or not. So either give me my goddamn money back if you can't make a fucking burger that doesn't taste like fucking gasoline, or fuck you. But I digress once again. Anyway, though, getting back to your question, yeah. So I would say it seems like a disadvantage, but in the long run, as Carlin said at the end of his quote, he said, just hang in there, basically, and eventually you'll find yourself in a better place. Now, I know that you don't believe in God or religion or any of that bullshit, and that's fine. I basically agree with you on those points. What it is, I think, though, it's the idea of a God. Because apparently a bunch of this shit that we read about in this, well, that we were forced to read about from a 2,000 fucking year old book, was make-believe bullshit that was made up by a group of people about 5,000 some odd years ago in order to control the masses, control authority. I mean, if you read this shit, which I'm quite familiar with the Bible actually, but if you read this, it's like, it's pretty fucking obvious it's made up shit. I mean, if you tell somebody a lie for so long, eventually it's perceived as the truth. So that's where the whole idea behind this God, not the actual God, but the God who we know, who we were forced to know when most of us were, well, here in the South where I'm from especially, most of us were forced to worship growing up. That's made up bullshit. All fucking made up fucking science fiction shit. But I believe there has to be something out there imperceivable, a force of some sort. I mean, I don't do any sort of religion or any of that fucking nonsense where people show up to a building every Friday, Saturday, Sunday and compare clothing. I'm not into any of that bullshit. But I believe there must be some sort of a higher force out there somewhere, giving us the reason to exist in the first place. Well, maybe not actually giving us the ability to exist, but there's got to be a reason why we exist at all. And as far as I'm concerned, no mere mortal, no human of any kind is capable of being able to fathom or comprehend that. I consider myself a pretty intelligent guy, and I believe you are too. But there's just, I mean, fucking Einstein couldn't tell you why the fuck we're here in the first place. I mean, why do we exist? The meaning of life and all that bullshit. I mean, but there's got to be a higher place. I believe it's based on maybe just who you are or the karma. I don't know about that. I guess maybe what it is, maybe if you realize that there's a bunch of shit you don't fucking know, you're actually smarter just for fucking knowing that you don't know. If that makes any goddamn sense.